All right, chapter 11, Vision of Evening. This land, which was once the school of spiritual enlightenment, is still the sanctuary of spiritual civilization, though we are cut off from our brothers over the water. Even now, terrible foreigners press about the pure land held in trust as divine estates and religious rites are neglected. But my friends, this is just a beginning, and the time is not far distant when there will be laws prohibiting us from the practice of worship, and heavy penalties will be laid upon the righteous. Yet I still lay the charge upon you, go forth and teach. The matron of the coming days will bear strange children, aliens blind to the light of beauty and nobility. The chants of weird forms of worship will be heard, and meaningless hymns will echo through the land. The devotional places will be wreathed with agnosia, and the purity of white enlightenment will be exchanged for the drab blackness of ignorance. Men will cease to seek their soul spirit sustenance in the light and will feed on agnosia. Unknowingly, darkness will be preferred to the light. The theme of life will be death, and death will even be idolized in the form of a man. The righteous man will be held up to scorn, and the irreligious will be deemed wise. Those with twisted minds will be held intelligent, and those who declare that good can only serve a worldly end will be considered righteous. All this will result from spiritual poverty and a lack of enlightenment, yet they will declare themselves rich and enlightened. The impoverished cannot surround themselves with grandeur, and this applies both to the flesh and to the spirit. Consideration for the soul spirit will be non-existent, and belief in its immortality will be treated as jest. The mind of man will either be sent on worldly things or be clouded by a fog of spiritual darkness. There will be no respect for spirituality. There will be persecutions and wars, riots and looting. All manner of deceit and oppression will be practiced in the name of angry and revengeful gods. Worse still, all this will be practiced in the name of good, and men will blindly accept what they are told and execute orders running contrary to their natures. When spirituality has reached its lowest ebb and religion has decayed, the wheel will turn again. Man will either rise up with an influx of spiritual regeneration or go down and utterly perish in the dark depths of moral degeneracy. The world cannot be permitted to remain a spiritually festering sore, failing to serve any purpose. There are things buried in the future with which it is unprofitable to deal, so what is said must suffice. Better by far to deal with the problems of today, though even these are less important than learning the secrets of the true way. The awakened soul spirit of man becomes filled with a yearning not there before, an overwhelming desire for constant communication or unity with the sphere of the Holy Spirit. As this manifests more strongly and desires and inclinations tend to disappear, the soul spirit grows from strength to strength. Since the earth is the work of the Supreme Spirit, he who cherishes and improves it or adds to its beauty and goodness becomes an assistant to the Creator. This is a position all should aspire to, for the earth must not be uncouth or unadorned. Those who benefit most from life are those who serve it best. I have spoken of the man-God, of the very few who are gifted with purity of mind and high intellect. These are the ones who should marshal the forces of mankind to serve the Creator, but all too often good men are not great men, or great men good. As things are, the man who is both good and great is a rarity. To the spiritual means living life to the fullest in its wildest sense, making conscious contact not only with the sphere of matter and mortality, but also with the sphere of the Holy Spirit. As this means that the spiritual man differs from ordinary men, the crowd is not able to understand him, and often he is treated with scorn. This does not deter the spiritual man, who knows the mockery and scorn of the crowd are usually directed against someone superior to it. When I was held up to ridicule, scorned, and even believed mad, I felt flattered. Reality and truth are not to be found on earth, though man, being more than mortal, can conceive their existence, and some may even be granted a divine vision of them. How can such qualities exist in this sphere where good is adulterated with evil? Where there is no stability, whereas pain, sorrow, decay, and change press in on every side. How can any unstable, changeable thing be real? How can it be true to itself? Everything that is unstable changes and is therefore false to itself, and the false is unreal. The real is something unchanging. When a man can conceive what truth and reality actually are, he stands on the threshold of comprehending the Supreme Spirit.